Most people think that Yoruba kingdoms just faded away, but that is not true. They didn't just disappear. They were broken, reshaped, and absorbed into something new. So what really happens to one of West Africa's most advanced civilizations? Before colonial rule, Yoruba land was already organized into powerful but separate states, like the Oyo Empire, the Kingdom of Ife, Ijebu Kingdom, and many others. The Oyo Empire in particular was a dominant military and political force between the 17th and the 18th century. It controlled trade routes, collected tribute from neighboring states, and had a sophisticated system of check and balances, where even the emperor, which is the Alaafin of Oyo, could be removed from power. This wasn't a loose tribal system. It was structured, strategic, and highly organized. The fall didn't happen from the outside though, it started from within. By the late 18th centuries and 19th century, a series of miscalculation and reckless decisions of some figures led to political instability and weakening central authority began to appear, starting with the Oyo Empire, with the defeat at Ilorin and the fallout that followed. From the sacking of the capital at Oyole to the Battle of Osogbo, then came the Yoruba Civil War, which were a series of brutal conflicts between Yoruba states like Ibadan, Ijebu, and Oyo. This war lasted for decades. Cities were destroyed, trade collapsed, and unity disappeared. Instead of one strong empire, Yoruba land became divided and vulnerable. While Yoruba states were fighting each other, a new force was rising along the coast. These were European traders, who had previously had a long trading relationship with Yoruba kingdoms and the Oyo Empire, especially during the transatlantic slave trade. This time though, trade was turned into control. By the mid-1800s, the British had established influence in Lagos, and in 1861, Lagos was officially annexed as a colony. From there onward, the British expanded inland using diplomacy, military force, and treaties, often exploiting the division among Yoruba states. Not long after that, the French and the German colonizers occupied what was left of the west of Yoruba land. By the early 20th century, the independent Yoruba kingdoms were no longer sovereign. The territories occupied by France became part of French West Africa, and German-occupied territory became German Togoland. The rest were absorbed into British colonial Nigeria through a system known as indirect rule, where traditional rulers remained, but real power belonged to colonial administrator. Kings became symbolic, empire became province, and the once dominant civilization was restructured into a colonial state without the consent of Yoruba people. Those colonial constructs still exist today, but the story doesn't end with collapse. Yoruba identity didn't disappear, it adapted. Today, traditional rulers exist, cultural practices, language, and belief remain strong, and cities like Ibadan, Abeokuta, and Lagos continue to reflect the deep historical legacy. The kingdoms may be gone, but the civilization is still very much alive. So the Yoruba kingdom didn't just fall, they were undermined from within and overtaken from the outside. If you want to understand how this same civilization went to shape one of Africa's biggest cities, you should watch our next video on how Yoruba people built Lagos. And if you're interested in other Yoruba related content beyond the surface, subscribe to Yoruba Today and stay tuned.